day from another former girlfriend against Sean Diddy Combs.
While reading Cassie Ventura's bombshell civil lawsuit against Sean Combs, alleging years of drug-fueled sex with male prostitutes, another ex-girlfriend, known by the pseudonym Jane, told the jury she almost fainted. That was just a harrowing resemblance to what I was experiencing, Jane testified. I just reacted like, I can't believe I'm reading my own story.
That report from Aaron Katursky. A judge denying yet another request for mistrial. Combs, 55, pleading not guilty to sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges. He's jailed without bail. There are reports of a White House proposal to get rid of the 988 suicide hotline for LGBTQ youth. Since the program started 2 years ago, advocates say they've received more than 1.3 million contacts. The Department of Health and Human Services proposed budget for 2026 eliminates specialized suicide hotline services, including for LGBTQ youth and young adults. Embattled Harvard University getting beefed up support from 24 universities, including other Ivy Leagues, and over 12,000 alumni in the battle with the Trump administration. Among those tossing in support, Princeton, Yale, Dartmouth, Brown. Among alumni, Conan O'Brien, who all filed court documents and amicus brief to support Harvard's legal battle against the Trump administration, which threatens Harvard with slashing billions in grants. The filings come after Harvard in April rejected the government's list of 10 demands, including auditing viewpoints on the student body. This is time 8:51, time for traffic and transit with Kelly Dillon.
We are bumper to bumper tonight on the BQE both ways in Brooklyn, heading into Atlantic Ave. Traffic there still continuing. In Queens, the eastbound LIE is slow into the Grand Central tonight. In Midtown, not looking too bad on the West Side Highway or the FDR Drive. There's some slight delays in the Bronx and the southbound Bronx River Parkway, heading into Gun Hill Road, where there is a stalled car currently knocking out the right lane. Otherwise, not looking too bad in the Bronx tonight. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Quiet across the George both ways in the upper and lower levels. Not bad at the Lincoln or Holland. We're slow both directions tonight along the Brooklyn Bridge. In New Jersey, construction work setting up on the northbound Garden State Parkway into exit 143 in Irvington. That takes out at least a lane, so getting quite slow into that spot right now. And I'm Dylan. Our next report at 9:01, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast with meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Outside of an early thunder shower across North Jersey and the Hudson Valley, it's going to be a mostly dry night tonight as the sky turns out mainly clear, a low of 65. And it's going to be a brighter day tomorrow overall. Lots of sunshine throughout the day. It will be warmer, but less humid, with a high up to 84. And there could be a bit of haze tomorrow due to some of the Canadian wildfire smoke. Warm tomorrow night with a mainly clear sky, low near 70. Very warm on Thursday and a bit more humid with hazy sun and some clouds. Well, that afternoon or early evening thunderstorm, which could be around especially north and west of the city. Most areas, though, are dry Thursday with a high of 88. Maybe a stray thunderstorm Friday with mixed clouds and sun, high 82. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
And we are back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes, we need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
I've been hearing about the HPV vaccine. Did you get it for Ellie?
Yep. Gotta keep her protected.
Against cervical cancer, right?
It protects boys too. From throat and penile cancer.
Good to know.
For nearly 20 years, the HPV vaccine has been proven safe and effective at reducing HPV infections that can lead to cancer. Vaccination is recommended starting at age 9. Protect their future with the HPV vaccine. Talk to your child's doctor today.
Dozens of people died, it's reported, after a shooting near an aid distribution center in Gaza. Israeli forces say they were targeting what they call suspects, but officials at a nearby hospital and UN officials on the ground say it was a tragedy that did not need to happen.
We have heard from officials in Gaza that at least 36 people were killed and more than 100 injured. And this was according to local hospitals in Gaza. Now, in a statement, The Israeli army said, quote, that they were firing warning shots to distant suspects who they say were advancing in the area and posed a threat to troops.
Correspondent Marcus Moore reporting. Police in Seattle are investigating after rapper Macklemore's house was burglarized. His children's nanny hit with bare mace by one of two masked intruders just after midnight Saturday. It's not clear if the artist, whose real name is Ben Haggerty, was home at the time. The thieves got away with several watches, jewelry, shoes. The nanny managed to bite one of the intruder's hands. Perhaps picking up energy from the storied musical past, the New York Amphitheater in the Catskills getting a rousing report card as the best outdoor music venue in the country, racked by USA Today's Reader's Choice Awards, a pavilion at Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. It's built, by the way, not surprisingly, on the exact site of the 1969 Woodstock Music and Art Fair. A Long Island golfer breaks a record.
He only took 5-minute breaks every hour, and with a smile on his face, Kalichi Azihi made it through 35-plus hours playing golf, and he beat the Guinness World Record of 32 hours.
There was times I almost gave up. My family, my friends, they were there. They said, keep going.
It all happened here at the Huntington Crescent Club, where golfers are beyond impressed.
It's just absolutely incredible.
Would you do something like that, or?
I would need a lot of caffeine, but, maybe.
Why was it important to break the record?
People think it's for the old and wealthy people, and I want to change that narrative.
Azihi is 27 years old. Sophia Hall, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
Now Bloomberg Money Watch.
The U.S. and Mexico close to striking a deal that would remove President Trump's 50% tariffs on steel imports as long as total shipments stay below a certain historical level. Meantime, day 2 of U.S.-China trade talks in London were said to go really, really well. That's raising hopes for some kind of deal to take down barriers to rare earth minerals exported out of China and AI technology coming out of the U.S. And that helped the Dow move 105 points higher today. The Nasdaq at 124 and the S&P added 33. General Motors says it more than doubled sales of EVs in the first 5 months of this year compared to 2024, selling nearly 63,000 units, second only to Tesla, but nearly twice what Ford sold. And Reuters reports that among the entities considering buying the remains of the bankrupt drugstore chain Rite Aid are rival Walgreens, the brand management firm Authentic Brands, and social media star Kourtney Kardashian. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Tom Busby for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
When something happens to your car, you might say, what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
But do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WINS, WINS FM and HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Becky Wiggins says, don't rule out a thunder shower here and there, especially across North Jersey and the Hudson Valley overnight. Overnight low 65 degrees. More people get their news from 1010 Wins and from any other radio station in the nation. John Davis, our service aide. Sweet Tina Kakar at the editor's desk. I'm Mario Bosquez.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
71 degrees with light rain in spots, especially in northern Manhattan. And the Bronx tonight at 9 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Lane Bajardi. Here's what's happening. Protests against Trump administration efforts to deport immigrants continuing in the city and around the country. Mayor Adams weighs in on whether a federal military response like the one seen in L.A. would ever be appropriate here. The AP projects Republican Jack Ciattarelli will face Democrat Mike Sherrill in the race for New Jersey governor. Still no sign of that missing 2-year-old boy in the Bronx. The search now includes recovery efforts. Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend testifies she regrets the cuckold lifestyle she says he forced upon her during a violent 3-year relationship. A golfer on Long Island heading for the Guinness Book after breaking the record for a continuous golf game. Sports, Mets host the Nationals, Yankees in Kansas City. Yankee weather says, turning out mostly clear tonight, low 65, warmer tomorrow, less humid, good deal of sun, high 84. Wins News Time 9:01, traffic and transit. Here is Kelly Dillon.
We do have bumper-to-bumper delays on the BQE in Brooklyn, continuing each way into Atlantic Ave tonight. Slight delays on the eastbound LIE through Queens into the Grand Central. We are looking okay in Nassau. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Pretty quiet on the LIE, the northern and the southern state parkways. In Midtown tonight, looking okay on the West Side Highway and the FDR Drive still. In Jersey, a bit busy on the northbound Garden State Parkway, exit 143 in Irvington with construction. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Across the George both ways, upper lower levels looking okay tonight. No delays at the Lincoln or Holland. And traffic delays also starting to ease up now across the Brooklyn Bridge. This report sponsored by NJ State Auto in Jersey City. I'm Dylan. Our next report at 9:11, 1010 Wins and 92.3 FM.
Don't be terrified. Get pre-qualified for your next vehicle, no tariffs, at njstateauto.com. njstateauto.com. Or visit NJ State Auto in Jersey City. Get driving the Jersey City way at njstateauto.com.
Another day and night of protests in response to the ICE raids happening around the country. LA, Boston, Chicago, and here in New York City.
The protest growing so large at Foley Square, it's spilling out into the street. With protesters demanding the deportation taking place in the city be stopped right away.
So I also have family in LA and stuff, it's the same thing. They're just gonna go from one big city to the other until they tackle everything down. And this is just the beginning of what we hope the end will be soon.
Jaime Gonzalez coming out. He's a chef working in the city who came here from Mexico over 30 years ago.
We shouldn't be living here. We're supposed to live in free countries.
Protesters say they're going to continue coming out to stand up and fight back for immigrant New Yorkers. Barry Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Foley Square.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has filed an emergency request for a court order that would prevent President Trump and the Department of Defense from expanding the current mission of federalized National Guard members and Marines. The president vows to continue his crackdown on protesters exercising First Amendment rights to oppose his immigration policies.
The president called in thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of U.S. Marines to crack down on protests in Los Angeles, saying he did what he had to do.
If we didn't attack this one very strongly, we'd have them all over the country.
And he says he will do it again.
I can inform the rest of the country that when they do it, if they do it, they're going to be met with equal or greater force.
California's governor and the mayor of Los Angeles have both said that the presence of troops made matters worse and that the president exceeded his authority by calling them in the first place.
Correspondent Linda Canyon, there's word tonight that fully armed National Guard troops are now being used to support ICE agents as they make arrests in California. Back here in the city, Mayor Adams sees no need for any federal response here at this point.
We know what we have to do to keep the city safe. And if there's ever a need to go beyond the manpower that we have, there's other ways you do it before you have to come with the look of a military operation.
A major NYPD show of force out tonight as demonstrations continue.
The New York City Council is asking the Department of Investigation to look into how the NYPD is communicating with federal immigration authorities. Some believe there could be a violation of sanctuary city laws.
The NYPD is adamant that it does not talk to the feds on civil immigration cases, but it does give info on criminal cases. Council Speaker Adrian Adams says there are questions.
Reports that NYPD collaboration and information shared with federal agencies being used in civil immigration proceedings are disturbing.
The feds asked the NYPD for info on a Columbia student being investigated for money laundering. Now that student is charged with overstaying her visa. Immigration Committee Chair Alexa Aviles believes it's possible the NYPD didn't know how the info would be used.
Clearly, there was a breach.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wings on 92.3 FM.
In response, the Adams administration says they follow local law and they do not cooperate with ICE on civil deportation matters, period, full stop. 70 degrees, a little light rain in spots tonight. Most of the area is clear. Turning out mostly clear tonight with a low of 65. Warmer tomorrow, less humid, good deal of sun, high 84. Well, less than an hour after the polls closed, the winners of tonight's New Jersey gubernatorial primary were projected by the Associated Press. While it's the first primary since Jersey's party line system was struck down with no incumbent running lines or no lines at all, the choices of most county party committees representing the most people were the ones who came out on top anyway. Republican Jack Ciattarelli, hoping his third time seeking the governor's office, will be the charm. He'll be facing Democratic Congressman Mikey Sherrill in November. In the New York City mayor's race, a former mayor is making an endorsement. In a statement, Mike Bloomberg admits history holds endless examples of friction between mayors and governors, recognizing he often clashed with Andrew Cuomo. But he went on to say he'll be endorsing him anyway as the one candidate who managed with management experience and government know-how standing above the others. Concern growing about the 2-year-old Bronx boy we told you about yesterday. The boy's father is in jail for refusing to tell a judge where the child is.
NYPD dive teams searching the Bronx River at Garrison Park for missing 2-year-old boy Montrell Williams. He was last seen during a visit with his father on May 10th. When the boy wasn't returned to his mother that night, she reported him missing. And yesterday, she saw Montrell's father and asked where their son is. They allegedly pulled a knife, telling her the boy is in the river. Mayor Adams weighing in on the investigation.
We need to find out exactly what happened. We're still praying that the child is all right, and we don't know a final outcome.
Father is in custody for the knife incident and is being questioned by detectives. At Garrison Park in the Bronx, Monica Guy, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Jurors in the Sean Diddy Combs trial heard more testimony about violence against women as the judge denied yet another mistrial motion.
Jane testified she experienced similar physical violence. She conceded she started it, knocking Combs into a countertop during an argument and throwing candles at him. She testified, he put me in a chokehold on the ground, lifted me up, and I couldn't breathe. She says he punched her on my forehead and around my eye area, she says, leaving her with welts. And then Sean said just put some ice on it and put an outfit on. Before she told the jury he summoned an escort for another sex performance.
Correspondent Aaron Katursky. The interpersonal issues between members of the jury in the Harvey Weinstein retrial have apparently subsided. Things quiet on that front today as deliberations continued. The jury began the day with a request for documents associated with the testimony of Jessica Mann, who said Weinstein raped her in 2013, but she continued to accept invitations from him in the years that followed. Weinstein is also accused in this trial of sexually assaulting 2 other women. He maintains all encounters were consensual and is appealing a rape conviction in Los Angeles. Another Republican-controlled state is targeting New York doctors who prescribe, sell, or provide pregnancy-ending drugs to women who live in states with abortion bans. Louisiana lawmakers approved a bill that will allow out-of-state doctors to be sued if they provide abortion-inducing medication. Similar laws are already in place in Texas, Oklahoma, and Idaho. Doctors in Louisiana face up to 15 years in prison for performing an abortion. Traffic and AccuWeather next. 1010 Wings at 92.3 FM.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare there and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-4402. 800-515-4402. 800-515-4402.
Do you have an immigration question? Download the free immigrationquestion.com app available on Apple and Android. Go to immigrationquestion.com and have your questions answered from seasoned immigration attorneys of your choice. Registration for attorneys and the public are free. This is a limited time offer. Go to immigrationquestion.com, the easy way to get your immigration question answered. That's immigrationquestion.com. Go to immigrationquestion.com, the easy way to get your immigration question answered. Immigrationquestion.com is an interactive site between attorneys and the public. It's not a law firm or connected with the USCIS. Go to immigrationquestion.com. That's immigrationquestion.com, the easy way to get your immigration question answered. Go to immigrationquestion.com. That's immigrationquestion.com. Wins News Time 9/11 traffic.